Hello and welcome to Tasty Tuesdays with me, Lorene, your host, and Lily Hayes is our beautiful guest today. Hi, Lily.
Hello, beautiful soul. Thank you so much for having me on.
Oh my God, what a funny start that was. Alrighty, so I'll just quickly introduce our beautiful, gorgeous goddess here, Lily Hayes. She is a mother, a lover, an intuitive healer, a guide, a multidimensional mystic, and positive change maker. She has a purpose of connecting and supporting souls to ignite the master healer within to help them come home to their heart. With the most significant truth is that we each hold is that we are all the positive change that we've been waiting for. And sometimes we just need to remember the powerful magic that we all hold, and Lily is here to remind you to do exactly that. She has an amazing amount of modalities under her belt, including, but not limited to, just saying that, theta healing and womb healing, light language sound healing, where she's a Reiki master. She's into shamanism, does psychic protection, end-of-life doula services, birth blessings, sacred ceremonies, past life regression, alchemy, crystals, plant medicine, energy medicine, I don't know how to say that, psionic abilities, thank you, DNA activations and programming, psychic abilities, embodiment and techniques, ancient teachings, house clearings, entity removal, and many more. It feels a bit like reading my own resume in a lot of ways. It's just like, it's like when people say, well, what do you do? And I sit there and go, and that's what don't I do?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when we get onto this path and we start to experience the power of all these different amazing modalities and tools, it gives us a real thirst to then dive into even more and experience even more. And when we feel the benefits for ourselves, we can't help but have this fire ignited within us to want to share those amazing tools with other people so they too can have those huge transformations that all these different modalities hold and share.
Oh, absolutely. And I know, like, sometimes it happens that we end up with one modality for a while, and then all of a sudden all these other ones start just creeping their way in, and it's like before you know it, you've got a big huge long list
too. Exactly.
And then if you have the extra added abilities of creating your own stuff or intuiting your own stuff, that's when it gets even more fun and interesting, isn't it?
Absolutely. I was literally just about to say the same. Is there has been many moments over the journey where I would just be guided to do these things that I was never taught, but is just innately within me. And a lot of the people that come and see me are healers. So I'll have these healers that may have been within the field for longer than what I have. And they're like, did you know that you're doing this? And I'm like, well, okay, that's what that is. I didn't know how to put a name to it. I just feel it, allow it to flow, put my ego and my physical self aside and just let it channel through. So it's exciting.
100%. I remember I was very early into my dedicated energetic healing journey, and I said to somebody who's been in the industry for a long time, and I said to him, I did this thing where it was like I kind of like a little version of me like sort of went into the body and started checking out their internal systems and stuff and finding blocks and that, and they're like, yeah, your body scanning. And I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool. I didn't know I could do that.
Oh, absolutely. I think one of the biggest ones for me was when I started intuitively programming and reprogramming, repairing DNA. I was like, could see these DNA structures and I was like, okay, let's go with this. And I was doing these different bits and pieces and then coming out the other side and being like, wow, what was that? And then bam, I started to understand more about it, dive deeper into it. And it was like, okay, yep, I get it now. I get it. That is cool. Thank you for sharing these gifts with me.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So I'd love to know, how did you begin on your spiritual journey?
Yeah, look, this literally stems back across many, many lifetimes, but let's for today start with this incarnation and this lifetime. So I came out the womb extremely psychically gifted. However, as a child, and especially a child who was growing up in the late 80s, early 90s, there wasn't a lot of knowledge and a lot of people that were out there sort of doing these things yet. So unfortunately, I was thrown around in the mental health system throughout my childhood, early adolescence, and early adulthood, just trying to find my place and being so tapped into everything, but having no boundaries and no skills on grounding, psychic protection, all of those different aspects. I really struggled. I really, really struggled to be able to one, understand what was going on, or at least slightly comprehend what was going on, but also to be able to navigate through that and feel as though it was okay and acceptable to have these gifts, see these things. And some of the things that I would see was a lot of pain and a lot of trauma from people and places that were around me. And this was extremely overwhelming for a child and an adolescent. So when I got into my teen years, I unfortunately really sort of found myself in a bad place and escaping through substance abuse heavily. And I had a lot of, it was a big journey with a lot of self-harm in various different forms. During that journey, it opened up a lot of doors for more trauma. And that was extremely difficult to navigate as well. I could go into the ins and outs of that, but I think everybody sort of understands to some degree or another, whether they've experienced it in themselves in their own ways or they've seen it, a person, peer, family go through some of that stuff. It's really challenging. There was a lot of sexual trauma that happened in my early years of life as well, and going into my teens. And it wasn't until I was 30 that I finally found an amazing holistic-minded psychologist and psychiatric doctor who didn't know each other, but simultaneously within a 2-week period, both turned around and said, you are not the labels that you've been given. You're actually legitimately psychically gifted. You're here with a purpose. And that purpose is to first heal yourself so that you can then open the door to be able to hold space as others heal themselves as well. And that was like, okay,
Yeah.
okay. I thought so, but I got told I was crazy these years. And bam, just like that, I went cold turkey off of 20-something years worth of medication, very, very heavy mind-altering medication. Would not recommend cold turkey. Please work with your professionals. It was ripping off the Band-Aid of Band-Aids, and I was very raw and sore for quite some time and very ungrounded for quite some time. But I was really, really fortunate to come across an amazing soul who was actually my housemate and past partner's brother, who was an energetic healer. And he said, look, why don't you come try this out? And I started doing weekly energetic healing sessions, in particular inner child healing. And look, this is some of the hardest work I've ever done in my life. It was so hard to go back to those early days because they really were so dark. But slowly but surely, I found clarity, I found healing, I found myself. And I had gone 30 years of having no idea who I truly was. I was such a people pleaser. I was such an escapism artist. I was such a number. I would do anything and everything to not feel and not discover who I truly was because I didn't feel that I was worthy. But my gosh, was that the biggest lie I fed myself for 30 years? Because absolutely, we are all so worthy. We are all so significant. And whether you walk the path of a healer, everybody in this life has the ability to heal themselves and help support others as they heal themselves too. And this is a massive ripple effect that goes out into the collective. It goes into our earth. It goes out into the wider, broader spectrum of all time and space. And what a blessing. What a blessing. Whether we're a practitioner or we're out there doing any kind of field, everyone has got their loving, and we don't have to stay stuck. We do not have to stay stuck in restrictive, stagnant energies that are only trying to bog us down, hold us down, because we're here to expand, we're here to evolve, we're here to grow, and we are here to love. That is the most important thing of this journey, is to feel with all senses engaged. And look, over my time, I've had 4 near-death experiences of going to the other side and coming back. And the message that I received from the other side all 4 times was exactly the same. To feel to the highest highs and the lowest lows is the greatest gift the human experience can give us. It doesn't mean it's always going to be comfortable, doesn't mean it's always going to be pleasant, but you absolutely better believe that it is the greatest blessing. And it's in those darkest darks, those highest, brightest brights, we are just as significant, just as worthy of love in both and all shades. So yeah, that's sort of what got me into all of this, was the transformation I saw for myself. And it makes me emotional just thinking of the beautiful people that I've held space for and seen their lives transform too.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just
it's
wondering, just changed over to my mobile hotspot to see if it changed it, but your audio started to go a bit wonky there.
Okay, yeah. I've got 4 bars here, but look,
it sounds like a little bit
when I come onto live.
Yeah, it sounds a bit like a robot-y.
Okay, just bear with me for 1 sec. I'm just going to quickly grab my mobile off my son, and I'll hotspot as well and see if that can help to fix the connection. 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's just really crackly. Like, that's what Cindy said too. So, hi Shwana, hi Cindy, hi Samantha. Is my audio okay, girls? Just while we're looking at all of that. Audio should be okay, but yeah, I'm hearing a crackle. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you, Cindy. It could even, Lily, it could even be, have you got earbuds?
No, I don't have earbuds that go with the laptop. Yeah. And I'll just pop the hotspot on and we'll see if that can help.
We were beautifully clear before, and then all of a sudden it just changed. I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah. What happens a lot of the time when I come on and do live is the energy vibration starts to get so high that technology can really start to glitch out. I've given my whole house a blackout for 4 hours once on a live. Yep.
That's hilarious.
Blew the circuit board.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we'll just ask for the vibration to lower just enough so that we can actually have nice, clear audio.
Ground. Right, it's probably going to boot me off for a second as this clicks over.
Yeah, that's no problem. Easy peasy. So how is everybody? And while we're waiting for Lily to go backwards and forwards and do what she requires to do, just a reminder, keep an eye on what your energy levels are like and what your moods are like and how you're just functioning through your day over today, tomorrow, and into Thursday being the new moon. So that was our homework from Find You Fridays, or home play, was just to take note of how your energy levels and things are over the next couple of days, today, tomorrow, and Thursday, and even a couple of days afterwards, to see how you are and how you're feeling, just to get a bit more practice with looking at how the moon and her energy affects you and your body. There was some stuff that was coming up in that first reading on Friday, from Friday last week, which was talking about just having a bit more ease with yourself and having the ease with, well, I'm not hearing myself crackle, so that's great. And just seeing how, like, and just having a bit of kindness and patience and compassion with yourself over this new moon, because it was just bringing up a lot of these energies, which a lot of people have been talking about lately. I received a message from someone just recently, who, like, today actually was going, has everybody gone absolutely bonkers? Because there's just, everybody's so impatient and testy and, you know, all that sort of stuff. So, we've got our happy little guest. It's a floating head.
Mummy took the phone away, so now.
Oh, no.
But that's okay. You smell like watermelon.
Yeah, I've been eating.
Tasty.
Oh, yum.
Okay, well, yes, hopefully I've done the reboot and I've got the phone going on the hotspot now, so hopefully that will be okay. Let me know if it gets crackly again. There we go. Cindy says it's getting better. Hey, Cindy.
Beautiful. Alrighty. So, your journey. Wow. what an amazing journey that has been, you know, going through all of that trauma, all that pain. And I know that your story is unfortunately not uncommon. You know, like, your specific set of circumstances is uniquely yours, but there's so many elements there that I can relate to, and I know that so many other people who will be watching this podcast can absolutely relate to them as well. And, you know, the beautiful thing is that now we've got incredible beings such as yourself and me, and, you know, some of the amazing, incredible healers that are in the audience tonight that also are able to help guide into that divine healing within, that incredible space of self-intuition, rather than having to look to everybody else for those intuitive moments, and learning how to have that confidence and the conviction to trust oneself. So, like, it's just such a beautiful time, you know, and that's why we have this show, because it's like, it's showing and it's giving others that are out there in the community that those anchor points to go to. Like, if they really resonate with you, then they can come and book a session with you, or, you know, or even just that knowing, like, oh shit, I'm not alone, I'm not nuts, you know. These things that I'm aware of, I can 100%. See them. It's like, oh shit, I'm not the only one that's gone through this process. This is awesome.
Absolutely. I think a lot of the time we can really hold on to the past, whether it has to do with things that we have done or things that have happened to us. And the biggest thing that I try and remind my clients, or just anybody in general, of is we are not our past. We are this present version of ourselves within this moment of now. And you know, it's a really slippery slope. It's really easy to get attached to what's happened in the past or what's going to happen in the future, that we miss out on the magic of now. And, you know, it's so powerful when we can. And look, I still have to pull myself up on this. I'm not a polished gem. There are definitely moments where I'm like, whoa, I'm getting ahead, or whoa, I'm going back. And it's like, hey, no, come back to self, come back to center. And it's when we have that tool and that ability to be able to recognize when we are slipping in one way or the other, and it's not necessarily the healthiest for us, we can then realign, ground back in, and just come back to that heart space. And that is so powerful, such a powerful tool to navigate through even the most hardest of trials. But it also helps us really appreciate the biggest blessings too.
100%. It's like that whole beautiful saying of, this too shall pass.
Yes. Water off the duck's back. There's a few good ones that's just like,
I used to get really irritated by that one, to be honest. It used to feel a bit like, oh, really? Doesn't feel like it right now. Yeah. Well, just bloody will hurry up. That would be great.
Yeah, it's like you're in the middle of a torrential storm some moments. It's like, I'm soaked, okay? Come on, I'm waterlogged.
I get it, all right? I have to have patience. I get it.
Yeah.
Now can we hurry up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, shit. So through your journey and all the different modalities that you've been playing with, like so far, what does consciousness mean to you?
Consciousness to me is really about being able to explore within both the seen and unseen. We've got the saying of being, bridging heaven on earth. For me, that is us. We've got this physical form, which is here on this earth, but our consciousness is this beautiful gateway to heaven. It's an all expansive space where anything and everything is possible. And, I could go on some interdimensional tangents, but I try to share things in a palatable way that as many people as possible can understand. And, this human body is such a powerful tool, such a powerful treasure trove of technology. And our DNA is this ever expansive, ever evolving key to this huge array of realms and experiences and abilities. Look, there's so many different words that you could use, but coming back to consciousness, it's really about that all expansive space where the absolute infinite phenomenal things really, really are possible, should we give ourselves the opportunity to dive into that. And yes, it does. There's some certain aspects where it takes a bit of discipline. Like our body needs to be able to hold those higher frequency levels of energy and awarenesses. So really coming back to our physical body and nurturing our body is so important, because if we can't ground the energy, that's when we find ourselves in spaces of burnout, overwhelm, and other such things. But yeah, it's the space where impossible things are possible. Miraculous healing is possible. It's just, it's delicious. It's tasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hence the reason why we have Tasty Tuesdays.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have to agree. It's like I inherited a process back in 2020. Early 2021. I'll say, and it was to do with assisting the bodies who have had the jab. And I'm going to put it that way, the Java juice.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to those people who have had it, there is all sorts of, the reasons why you chose it is yours. I have no judgment about why you did or you didn't. But what happened was that I was gifted with the knowledge of how one of the many ways that you can actually help to alleviate the impact of it on your body. And it's a mixture of 4 different modalities. And one of those modalities is the modality of me.
Yeah.
Because I'm the only person that can do it this way. And it's only because I've done, like you were saying, I have to hold such a high level of vibration for me to be able to tackle what goes on in there, that like somebody said to me, can you teach it? And I said, no, I can't. I actually can't teach this because, number one, some of the modalities, I don't have the legal right to be able to teach any of those things anymore. But also that combination is just so big and so dynamic that like I can only do one of those sessions a day. And that's for me, who's already very aware of it and has done it many, many times. And it's just like, the first few times that I ever did it in full, it was just like, whoa. And there was just so much energy flowing through me. And I was just like, I ended up a couple of times being able to have some intimate relations afterwards. And it was just like, roaring out of me. This energy was just roaring out of me. I'm just like going, I felt a little bit sorry for the person in the bed. But anyway, it was a great releasing.
Yeah.
And it really helped me to see and comprehend the space that I was having to achieve to be able to handle this work. And, as we do move through these different spaces here, you do have to be very aware of how much people can receive. And I'm just like, I couldn't teach just anybody to do this process. Somebody just walking in off the street going, oh, I want to help my friends and family. Not going to work.
Yeah, absolutely. I've done some amazing work with a beautiful powerhouse called Sean Bond. Sean Bond is a psionic specialist, and he is the owner of, or operator, owner, master healer, absolute all-around super soul of Psionic League, for anybody that's interested. And he's very big on the interdimensional, but also an absolute powerhouse master healer, incredibly psychically gifted. He reads soul records and Akashic records like nobody else I've ever come across. And I've been blessed to meet some really incredibly gifted psychics along the way. But Sean started teaching me about different psionic abilities. And psionic abilities, from my understanding, and it's a very, sorry to butcher it because I probably won't give the proper terminology, but basically psionic abilities is sort of another term for psychic abilities. It's when we sort of dive into telekinesis, teleportation, and sort of, I don't want to say higher up, but some of those real powerhouse tools that take a lot of training, a lot of practicing. And it was Sean that explained to me that we each hold unique DNA codes, but we also each of us hold unique authority levels of what we actually have access to be able to do and able to then share with others. Because if others don't have the level of authority access, you can give them something that can completely fry their energetic system and end up actually causing a lot of disarray within the energetic body and physical body. So it really, you explained it perfectly. It's not something we can just hand over and teach to anybody. We can provide activations to some level, but it will then be their soul rising to the level that they're destined to, not necessarily the level that their ego is wanting to be at right then and there. We live in a society that we just want to click our fingers and want to have it all here. And God, I've been in that space. No judgment. I've been in that space. But things take time. They take patience. They take resilience. They take devotion. To work ourselves up to that. And look, I'm still working every day too, and I will never stop. As much as I love your teacher and sharing different things, planting different seeds, I will never stop being the student as well. And that is a powerful place to be in.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It's I learn things all the time, and I learn them from really weird, wonderful places too. It's it's not even just from the teachers and the classes or things that I attend. Like the other day, I've been listening to a series of books called The Discovery of Witches. And all of a sudden I was right near the end of a session the other day, and part of that book just came flooding into my mind. And it was like, that's you, right? And I went, is this to do with my client? And it was like, no, this is you. We're telling you this now because that's why the session is going this particular way. It's like, interesting.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Downloads can come from the most unusual and unexpected places and activations. Sometimes I'll find that there might be a new Netflix series that comes on or something like that. And all of a sudden, I find all these downloads coming through from some stuff that might be relevant to it. Or I'll go for a hike and I'll be sitting next to a beautiful tree that calls me to it. And this tree will just download these amazing different bits of wisdom or energy or all kinds of different things. It comes when we least expect it, but when our soul's ready for it.
Absolutely. It was like over the last year, I've done a lot of renovation work, and the number of things that have dropped in while I've been up a ladder, chipping out a crack, or filling it up with water or something. And I'm just standing there going, oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, that. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, definitely. One of the most activating things that we can do in particular is playing, like allowing our inner child to come and play. Like if we're walking past a playground and there's a swing there, jump on that swing. Go back into that childlike awe space where you feel like you're flying. You can see the treetops swaying, the birds singing, the sky doing its thing, and allow it to feed your soul, because there's so much fun to be had. So much fun. Or crafternoon sessions. Like, who doesn't love a crafternoon session?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So, in all of your journeys so far, what has been your tastiest moment?
Instantly just getting so emotional when I'm like, I know exactly what. My tastiest moment has been the gift of being a mother. The joy, but also the pure fear in moments, and the absolute bliss, and also the absolute challenges that has come to me through parenthood. That's my tastiest moment. My boys are my biggest teachers, and I'm extremely grateful that they chose me. But there was a lot of loss in between my boys, and there's been a lot of loss as well after my youngest, who's now 5. And my beautiful angel babes, they taught me just as much. And they, along with passed over loved ones, whether they've been people or fur babies, or even sometimes situations, places, the process of grief has honestly also been one of my tastiest teachers. It's been so gut-wrenchingly painful, but so transformative along my journey as well. So that's my tasting. Yeah.
I love that. And I love that you brought in, with your babies that have passed over, because I have the same. If it wasn't for Averly Jessica, she was really the one that pushed me into my healing, my spiritual journey.
Yeah.
And because of what happened with her and her beautiful body twice over, because it was the same spirit, tried twice.
Yeah.
She was really determined. She actually tried 3 times, if I'm to be completely honest. But and it wasn't until I actually welcomed her into my spirit team that she settled. That she's sort of, because she's just so bullshit. She's so determined, and she's so fucking in your face.
Yeah.
And it's just like, whoa. And then when I welcomed her into my team, and I said to her, honey, you don't have to be embodied to be with me. She was like, oh, okay. Yeah. And suddenly she was as bright and bubbly and laughing and skipping around. And she's still the first one that will be standing there to give me a kick up the butt, though, if I'm getting too serious for myself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's my Luna Ivy Joy. Yeah, she's powerhouse, ancient soul too. So I have no doubt that they'd be up in the astral planes giving each other high fives right now that we're having this beautiful soul conversation.
Yeah, it was so beautiful. Like, even Averly's name, when she came through, like when that name came through, like I was pregnant, and I was like, I wonder what her name's going to be. well, actually, I didn't know it was a she at that stage, but I was like, I wonder what the name's going to be. And we were sort of boarding out the back of this property. And I was walking off to the shops, and there was this piece of paper which had somehow blown underneath the front gate. And it had nothing else written on it but the name Averly.
Oh.
And I was like, wow, I really like that.
Yeah.
And then I was like looking up the meaning of it, and it said it's an Australian name but with no meaning.
Wow.
And I'm just like, that's perfect. She can
So
make her
powerful.
own way.
Yeah. Oh, so powerful. Oh,
Yeah.
bless
So,
her beautiful soul.
Absolutely. And I mean, the dedication for her at the start of my poetry book is for her, because if it wasn't for her bouncing through my life as she's done, I wouldn't be where I am now.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah, the power that comes through the womb. My goodness. Oh, yeah.
Such
one
a
divinity.
blessing.
Yeah, from one divinity birther to another. I see you, sister. I see you.
I can feel my heart is just like going, whoa.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So with your beautiful business, we did sort of give like a nice good run off, but it's nice to do it sort of like a recap now. Like, what is the aim of your business, being Spirit Mumma Healing? And
well, look, Spirit Mumma Healing has taken me on such a transformative journey where I thought I was one thing, then I was another thing, then I was just forever evolving, forever growing. And for me, my biggest purpose and my biggest passion is to be able to share with people that they are their own master healer. I'm not here to save anybody, because people don't need to be saved. They're there to reignite the fire within. And I am so blessed that I get to hold space and plant some seeds, share some amazing tools, and give people the gift of love, unconditional love, to be able to see them in all their shades and waves. And for them to see and really, like, they can feel it. They can feel it even at their lowest of lows. They're like, wow, you see me and you still see me as this powerful being. It's like, damn straight I fucking do, because you are. We all are. Absolutely. So, yeah, being able to hold space and bring people back to their heart space, come back home to their truth, and ignite that master healer. There's nothing more powerful than coming home to the heart and realizing, wow, I have infinite potential to be able to change everything, to heal anything, to evolve, to grow, to achieve, to just be. Just breathing and just being is a beautiful blessing and a huge positive ripple effect for everything and everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
It just makes me feel so happy that you're in the world.
And I'm so happy you're in the world. I'm so happy that we have these beautiful people in our lives and communities and world and multiverse that are here doing the work, even when they don't realize that they're doing the work. We're all doing it. We are all doing it. Wow.
Absolutely. I know. I've just got like goosebumps on my goosebumps. It's just like makes me feel so good. So good. It's like, even hi Amanda, hi Sandra, just chatting over there. And it's like little things. People think it has to be these big, huge aha wow moments, but it can be something as simple as, like, there was one day I was just feeling really good within myself and just doing my thing, and I was strutting my stuff across the pedestrian crossing at the supermarket. And there was this lady, it was summer, and she had her window down, and she stopped for me to walk across, and I was just like, thanks, as I waved across. And she's like, oh my God, thank you so much. You've just totally made my day. Yeah. And all I did was something that I've done a million times before.
Absolutely. Random acts of kindness are so powerful, so powerful. And look, we got to let go of the excuses, because we're never too busy to do a random act of kindness, because it doesn't need levels of grandiosity. It really absolutely and powerfully can be just as simple as saying hi and thank you to someone. Oh, love you, soul sister. Oh, Rhiannon.
I was reading that going, oh my God, you guys are going to all make me cry today.
I know. I'm
so beautiful
tonight as well. Just feeling so much love, appreciation, and gratitude. And gosh, we need it. We need to really hold each other as we're holding ourselves. We so need that right now. It has been dense. It has been heavy. But the power of community, the power of love is absolutely what helps us get to the other side. And we're doing it. We are doing it. We're shining, even in the murky waters of mud and guck, and we still got our light shining out through. Like, no, it's okay.
Oh, it's so funny that you should say that, because it's like I've just recently picked up a job that I wish to specialize in doing trauma hoards and squatter cleanups.
Oh, wow. That is
so I'll literally be in the muck.
Yeah. Oh. But how blessed those people will be to have your amazing energy coming through that space.
Yeah. I'm like looking at it as being, I'm going to be literally cleaning those spaces from an energetic sense as well as a physical sense, and they won't even know what I'm doing.
Exactly.
So, weaving the magic through, and it's like there's just something that I knew that I had to. There's a reason why I have to be there, you know, and it's like it's way more than just getting rid of the physical yuck out of the space. So yeah,
absolutely.
Oh, look at these beautiful comments coming through. Thank you, Rhiannon.
So much love to you.
Oh,
hey, Tiffany.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Opening the door for someone, that's something that's like a random act of kindness, you know, helping somebody with their shopping trolley. You know, if they've unloaded their shopping trolley, an older person, and just saying, look, can I take that back for you? You know, just random stuff. Picking, like somebody the other day, I accidentally dropped one of my coins as I was paying for something at the till, and my coin fell out on the floor, and the lady picked it up and handed it back to me. You know, it was just like
absolutely
so beautiful. It's just a little thing, and it's like
really, it is. It has a huge ripple effect, and especially not everybody finds themselves within a community that's supportive or a family that's supportive. So when we can share our love and share our unconditional love, our compassion towards anyone and everyone, there are so many out there that don't receive that very rarely receive that. So it can be so simple. And for me, like, I see everyone as absolutely stunning. So I love to be able to just share a compliment and say, wow, you look amazing today. Because even if they're wearing their pajamas in the middle of Rundle Mall, like, absolutely, their soul is stunning. Their soul is shining. And you can, look, we can feel, especially those of us that are tapped into being able to read energy or just feel energy. It's not even about reading someone's energy without their permission, but just feeling the vibes. So when we come across someone that feels a bit down or feels a bit stressed, it's really beautiful to be able to sprinkle a little bit of love. And sometimes they might not want to hear it. That's okay, because we know that we've done it and we planted a little seed, and there's going to come a part where later maybe they're sitting on the toilet and they finally get a second to breathe, and they're going to be like, you know what, that person that smiled and said I looked awesome, good on them.
Oh, 100%, 100%. And I know, like, my time that I spent in disability, that nearly 7 years in disability, was some of the most amazing time. And I'm ready to do something else now. But it's just like that truly was such a beautiful gift, because I got to touch the lives of so many different people and be the magic of me without being stifled. And I was just like, oh, this is so good. So good, because I was working solo most of the time directly with the client, and it was just so beautiful. Whereas my time within the childcare sector was not so beautiful. Too much regulations, too much tightness, too much focus on paperwork rather than the children. And rather than the learning for the active part. That was to the people who homeschool, I say full props to you. You're amazing. And also all the teachers and things out there that do actually manage to inject some of the fun and the magic and manage to break away from the paperwork long enough to really enjoy why they became a teacher in the first place. Full props to you too, because it's it's such a hard job.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. Some of the most transformative encounters and stories that I've ever been blessed to hold space and listen have been those of homeless people. I really enjoy isn't the right word, but I'm extremely grateful that there are moments where I have a bit of time to be able to spare, and I'm really grateful to go and connect with homeless people in the city and actually just ask to hear their story. And I take them, buy them lunch, get them a bus card, whatever I can do for me, it doesn't resonate with me to give them money. That's just me personally. I'm not saying anything against others that do, but I like to be able to actually get them some stuff that can help them if I'm in a financial position to do that. But the biggest thing that they appreciate, and I appreciate, it's changed my life, is to hear their stories. And wow, just the love that is shared through this conversation. And as I say my goodbyes to these beautiful souls that have blessed my journey, and they went from feeling so empty to all of a sudden having this huge smile on their face, like someone saw me, someone gave a shit about me. She cares. She actually cares. I could feel her heart. She cares. I'm worthy. We are all so worthy. We are all so worthy. And every single one of those people that may be sleeping on the sidewalk, they are all a child. There is a beautiful child, but often very scared, very broken child. And a little bit of love goes a long way. Long way.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember when I first came to Australia, and I ended up in a position where I was basically going to end up homeless myself. And I was living in a share house at the time, and there was a beautiful Sri Lankan family living in the cottage down the back of the property. It's like a granny flat sitting right down at the back of the property, and they had a newborn baby boy called Chinitu, and they knew I had almost no money. They knew that I was really, really struggling, and that I had no idea what I was going to do. I ended up getting really sick and just stress sick. That was all it was. So I couldn't get a job. I couldn't even go for a job interview because I was full of the coughs and sneezes and stuff. And so they would say, come eat with us. And, it was just, and so they had to find cutlery for me because they all eat with their hands. you know, they eat their breads and their curries and stuff. They just eat it off their plate, or, you know, their rice in their hands. And so they're like, oh, hang on a minute. And it was like right down the bottom drawer, and they found a fork for me. But it was just that level of kindness really meant so much to me at that time, because I was just like, they were immigrants as well. They hadn't been in the country very long as well, and they were there helping me. And to this day, I'm still Facebook friends with the mum and stuff. And it's just, and I'm now, you know, Chinitu he's a teenager and he's as tall as his dad, and, you know, all that sort of thing. And I'm like, I changed your nappy, dude.
Oh, bless.
You know, it's just that it's really true. Like, you can never know what someone else is going through, but a little bit of kindness, a smile, a hello, you know, like Sandra was saying that she brought a homeless man a meal and a drink. He had a dog and he gave the food to his dog. So she went off and bought him more food. And he cried. And it's like that level of kindness is just exactly what the world requires right now. 100%.
Absolutely. You know? Absolutely. No, I think to your comments about like the schooling system and just before, and the schooling system is a really, like, when you go into the interdimensional aspects of it, it's an extremely haunted system, which
exactly.
Sorry,
it's that face.
But the level of judgment that goes on within those environments is really quite astounding. Going back to my journey within the schooling system, being extremely psychic, not only was I feeling everyone's stuff around me, but also the hauntings of the system itself, which was extremely. Can you still hear me? I think the internet connection cut out for a sec.
Yeah, it was like we got that the schooling system, and that you're incredibly psychic, and that it was haunted.
There was a definite big, like, no, don't talk, don't go there. Clear, we're good.
Cancel, clear, delete it. This is stuff that people need to hear. They actually really do. It's like Sandra said, it sounded haunted.
That's it. But it's an extremely judgmental environment, and there are a lot of educators out there who have been through their own trauma, which then carries on into the workplace. And then there's some amazing educators out there that are the change makers, that are shifting things and giving children a real chance at being nourished and nurtured as well as educated. And oh my gosh, I love you so much. I was fortunate to have a couple of those teachers, but there weren't a lot of them. Majority of them judged me. And I had gone through severe sexual trauma that I wasn't open about. I didn't start to disclose what I went through until much later. So not only did I have teachers turning around and saying horrific things like, the only thing you're ever going to succeed in your life is using your body to make money. Like, who tells a child that? And then I had my peers around me calling me names like the SLU, you know what, or other such things, making lists of people that I'd hooked up with, doing, like, saying all these horrible things. But I was hypersexual because of the trauma that I went through. And this isn't just relative to sexual trauma, but it comes back to the whole, you never know what someone has been through until you hear their story. Because to the outside world, I looked like I was this defiant, promiscuous person. But I was a child who was hurting and aching. And there is many versions of my child self that I still have to go back and remind, you're safe, you are loved, you are whole, you're worthy, you're significant. And this goes across for everybody, no matter what it is that we've been through. And they could be, you know, what someone says is, oh my God, that's absolutely horrific. And then someone might see something as, oh, well, you shouldn't be upset about that. No. Trauma can affect everybody in different ways. And if it's significant for the individual, it is significant for the individual. And
That's right.
we are here to honor that, hold space for them, and let them know how loved they are despite what they've been through. I don't know why that came through, but anyway, we just went on a little side tangent.
Because it's important to be heard out there.
Yeah.
One of my core principles is that, and beliefs in the aims of my business is that you are to be seen and heard.
Absolutely.
Everybody is to be seen and heard. And including your beautiful being that keeps floating in and wishes to be seen and heard. It's just like it's a physical representation of what I have, because I didn't feel seen and heard when I was little.
Yeah.
You know, I did not feel that. Even through my 30s, late 20s, early 30s, my family used to go, oh, you care too much. I don't know why you care so much. You're weird. You care too much. And it's just like, how can you care too much? I don't understand how you can care too much. There is no such thing as caring too much.
Absolutely.
You know, you guys don't care enough. That's the fucking problem. It's like, if you did, you would realize how you're treating each other is shit. You know, and I wish back in those days I had the ability to say that last part to them.
Oh, me too.
You know, I never had the ability back then, never had the confidence, never had the resilience to be able to say, yeah, but you guys actually don't care enough.
Yeah.
Because if you did, then you would actually get it, that how you're treating each other is absolute shit. And it makes me feel like crap, as well as the people around you. So, I mean, we're back to that broken healer thing.
Yep.
You know, and because I've been through that, I see it and I can sense it really quickly with other people. And so we work on healing that. We do past life regression work. We do, which includes this life, but past time regression work. We do that somatic healing type stuff, which I've only just learned that's what I do. It's a part of what I do. It's got a name. What do you know? Maybe I'll add that to my business card. I think I'm going to need a scroll.
I know, absolutely. You're going to have to hand over a bit of a handbook of like, here you go, this is everything.
And, you know, with the school system and stuff, for me, I had a similar experience to you in my primary school days, and I went almost the opposite way. I had a moment where I was a bit sexual, and then I went, boom, the complete and utter opposite, and became like the teacher's pet. I became more mature than what I should have been. I became the nerd, like really massively the nerd. And to the point when in my last year of high school, when we got to wear casual clothes every day, we didn't have a uniform, the other students would think I was a teacher, because that's how I held myself, you know. And that sort of carried on for quite a while. And it was really a reflection of, I'm just so smothered in trying to hide this part of me, because yes, I was aware of ghosts. Yes, I was aware of spirits and energies, and whether people were telling the truth or not, and all of that sort of stuff. Like, I was so fucking aware of it, but I didn't know what that was. You know, I went through the 80s and 90s like yourself, as, you know, growing up in those years, and I didn't know a single psychic around me. I didn't know anybody of that sort. I grew up in a very small town in rural New Zealand. Like, there was just none of that there that I knew of. And it's not until these later years where I've started being way more open about my abilities, what I've seen, what I've done, like the posts that I've been doing more recently about how past life trauma can impact your health now, and the different sections of that my auntie, my dad's sister, has popped up going, oh yeah, I knew you were special. I knew that there was these spiritual parts of you, but I didn't know if anybody else would realize. I'm like, well, you could have fucking said something back then to me. Maybe we could have had a deeper relationship back then. If you could see it back then, why the hell didn't you tell me?
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
But it wasn't the time.
No.
It wasn't the time.
We embarked upon our journey and those early stages of life, having that level of separation so that we could reach where we are now and have such a deeper appreciation for connection. And there's going to come a time very, very soon, it won't be much longer, where we're called to action to start to open space for actually creating the new education system which supports these highly sensitive children that have been birthed over the last, well, look, you know, it's been ongoing. It's not like it's just something that's new, but there is a whole nother level of sensitivity that has started coming through over, in particular, the last sort of 20 years. I've noticed and, you know, lo and behold, that's when so many more children are diagnosed with being neurodivergent and being on the spectrum. I've been so blessed to work with children with special needs, and a lot of them were non-verbal. All these specialists couldn't get them to talk. Their parents couldn't get them to talk. And I would literally spend 15 minutes with them and they would be talking to me because they are tapped in to the unseen, but there's no one around them who is able to kind of feel and know that. It's that soul knowing, and their higher self is so functional, but it's just trying to get this super high frequency energy and array of gifts to land within their little physical bodies is a real big challenge. And there's not much support out there at the moment, but that is going to change. I see it.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Like I did spend roughly a year and a half between, well, when I jumped into disability, I also was doing nannying at the same time. And of course, when you're a nanny, you do end up working with a lot of kids who are on the spectrum. And there was one particular family I was working with. The eldest had autism. The youngest, it was a family of 3, the youngest had Asperger's, and the one in the middle had learned behaviors from both, but was incredibly like what you would call gifted. And I'm just like going, wow, what a dynamic group of kids. And, you know, their mum spent so much time trying to fix what was wrong rather than seeing what was the gift here, what was their strength, what it was, you know. And in my time working with them, I was just like, it came around to Christmas time and I said to her, you know, this middle child really wishes to spend some quality one-on-one time with you, and he's also really super tapped in to what the others in the family and you know, in the friend circles would like. I said, what if you took him Christmas shopping? What if you actually spent some time with him and allowed him to show you what he knows? And oh my Lord, he was so rapt and he was so excited to be able to, you know, share his amazing abilities with his mum and have her see him for the gift that he is, rather than trying to push and pull him and make him wrong all the time and spending so much time trying to tick a box or do something or get some sort of grant or doctor's appointment or whatever. It was just so beautiful.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I've, you know, my eldest, he was diagnosed with ADHD and being on the spectrum, having severe dyslexia and dysgraphia. So learning in mainstream schooling doesn't come easy to him and hasn't been easy. Forming relationships with peers has also been a big challenge. And it was really quite difficult because he you have a conversation with him and you don't necessarily pick up on this, but it's because he's actually extremely psychically gifted. He knows this. He's also in denial because he's almost 16 and he's gone through his own journey of stuff, shall we say. But he has been judged his whole life, from whether it has been certain family members that just didn't get it, the schooling system that didn't get it, peers that didn't get it. But he now has some really great friends. He is in limbo at the moment, transitioning out of mainstream schooling, and will be going into a special school next year where he can actually have some more support for him, but more so that he can actually start to do some hands-on learning, because that's how he learns. And it's been one of the most eye-opening journeys being his mum and having him be my teacher, because I was also labelled with all these different things and learned in a different way. And, you know, seeing his journey has been extremely challenging, but also incredibly healing, as cycles felt like they were replaying. But it's just really, really, really powerful when we can let go of the societal pressures, let go of these societal pressures of your child should be doing this or you're not a good mum, you should be doing this, otherwise you're not being a responsible caregiver, and letting all of those things go and actually coming back to the heart, coming back to the center and really connecting soul to soul and saying, I see you, I feel you, I love you, I understand how much you're struggling, but we will get you through this. It's that unconditional love that has been completely transformative for his journey. There are moments where stuff comes up, but the love always pulls him through. He's always able to come back to the heart space now that he's here full time with me. And that's, you know, it's no discredit to the other people in his life, because they are all amazing, loving caregivers. But it's something on a psychic level with certain, it's just a soul level. It's not even psychic. It's just there's this deep connection when we let go of all the other stuff, put down the whips, put down the rule books, and just say, no, okay, what does the soul say? What does the soul say?
Yeah. I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. And there's so much, like the learning that I've done this year of, you know, while I've been doing my reno work and having my Audible books playing, and, you know, I've been through like fantastic books. Like I did the Sophia Code just after I came back.
Yeah. Amazing. So delicious.
So delicious. Very, very potent. Would recommend it, however, not until you're ready.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those books you have to be ready for. You couldn't step into it until you're ready. Yeah. Then there was like the Complete Conversations with God by Neil Welsh.
Amazing.
That was amazing. The 3 books there. Then there was like had a bit of Dolores Cannon floating through.
Gorgeous.
And then, you know, just all these different books. And while those 3, and then there was I think it was the History of Scottish Witchcraft was in there as well.
Love it,
and so, I mean, these books have just helped me to understand things in some so totally different ways, and ways that I already knew. Like we were saying earlier, it was just like, I already do that. I didn't know that I was doing stuff that, oh shit, that's actually part of my witchcraft history. And it's just organically coming through me. Oh, I'd had that thought about being really like way out there and being actually a part of the universe. But I didn't actually realize that other people thought that way. I didn't know that that's actually a message from God saying, yes, I am you and you are me, and I am experiencing life through you.
Exactly.
Like, boom. Oh my God. Okay. So it's like, and it's like when you sort of start to comprehend that, it's like, oh wow, I am God. well, a part of God, and God's a part of me. And there's no way, like it's as it says in the complete conversations with God, at what point would a God, would he, she, it, the being, actually wish to punish itself? It wouldn't.
Never,
ever, ever.
Ever.
It's not a vengeful God.
No.
And I'm like, wow, okay, it's all about balance then.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, even when we look at the weather, I know this is a total divergent off where we're meant to be right now. But
I've been thinking about this, so you're totally on my wavelength. I know where you're going. I feel where you're going.
So with the weather right now, we're looking at it, and I'm looking at my old memories of like 2 days ago, I saw a Facebook memory where it was literally 47 degrees.
Yeah.
On the same day a couple of years ago. And here we are sitting in 19 degrees. It's pouring with rain and there's just shitloads of floods. I'm like, it's all about the balance. Mother Nature is balancing us out right now because we have just been so, like, humans have just pushed and dominated over her for so fucking long. She's going, nah, it's time to wash it out. It's time. And I'm just swinging the balance the other way for a little bit. And if we can have allowance for that, if we can have allowance for the fact that the floods are actually incredibly important for the reestablishing of the ground, of the plant life, redistributing all the seeds and the pods and everything, like if we can look at it from that point of view, maybe we can have a little bit more ease with it. You know?
Absolutely. When we think about what was Earth before we all came along, you know, what did she look like? What was her landscape? What was taken from her in order for us to have these towns and cities established? What was taken from her in that process, that journey? So much life was taken from her. So much creation was taken from her. And look, my heart goes out to those that are devastated in the floods, that have been devastated in the fires. We're not taking away from any of that. You know, our love and our prayers are with everybody. But 100%, this is all cycles that our planet goes through. And just as our planet goes through devastating cycles in some moments that, yes, can have some ripple effects that cause all kinds of things that are not great, there are blessings on the other side of that. There is rebirth on the other side of that, just the same as there are for us as individuals in human form. It's sometimes through our devastation that we have our greatest growth, and we are then on to prosper to the greatest magnitudes that we ever knew was possible. It's just death and rebirth. It's a powerful, powerful journey. Painful
100%.
Beautiful in others.
It's like, I remember at the end of my first marriage, I used to call that my implosion moment.
Yeah.
And now I call it my explosion moment, because while I at the point in time and for many years afterwards felt like I imploded, like everything, I lost everything. I lost my husband, I lost the house, I lost the job, I lost my cat, I lost all my friends, I lost my income, I was in shitloads of debt, I had no way of paying for anything. My concentration, my brain was gone. I went into shock depression for 3 months. It was a really, it was a tough fucking journey. But at the same token, it was because of that I really found me. I found who I was again. And I don't know that I even really knew who I was before we got together.
Yeah.
When I sort of, even from this point, I'm like, did I even know who I was when I was born? No.
Yeah.
Because I was already wrapped up in a whole bunch of anger. I was already wrapped up in a whole bunch of resentment and pain. And so when I was born, even, there was not the true me,
Yeah,
and it took a
absolutely.
long time to undo all of that, a really
Oh,
long
yeah.
time. And if it
Oh, yeah.
hadn't been for that pressure cooker moment of the end of that first marriage, I don't know that I would still be around now. Like, I would have just been very fat, very unhappy, not helping anybody, and being very toxic to myself and to those around me. And it wouldn't have been a very healthy way to be, because it wasn't healthy.
Absolutely.
And yet I also know, with what I know now about like Akashic records and soul agreements and all of that sort of stuff, I also know that it was like, I had to be going through those spots to be able to be pushed, literally pushed out of my comfort zone, so that I would make choices that would have me sitting here right now with you. Being able to have these incredibly conscious, beautiful, enlightened conversations,
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Resonating on so many levels, so many levels. And I know there are a lot of viewers that can absolutely resonate in their own ways as well.
Yeah, for sure. And like, gosh, isn't it so beautiful when you go through an area that has had bushfires through and you get to see all the regrowth? And it's just like,
so special.
And I for me, I can see like the elementals, I see the fairy folk and stuff, and so it's like I just like get to see them all playing, and it's just like, it's just so bright and sparkly, and I absolutely love it.
Oh, I know, it's so special being in nature and connecting with the elementals, even just the elementals that live and play in my yard. Oh my gosh, they are so powerful and so special. They're also very cheeky. So sometimes you got to leave them some gifts, otherwise things go missing that shouldn't be missing. There's the mischievous ones that love to muck around, but they are extremely important beings, and very, very, very special beings, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So what sort of top tip would you give to someone who is maybe at the beginning stages, either of their spiritual journey or their business journey? Like, what sort of top tip would you give to them if they're feeling a little bit like,
Look, one of the things that was very extremely helpful for me, being an independent parent who wasn't working at the time, didn't have a lot of spare money, and was in quite a mental disarray. I found it extremely helpful at the beginning to start testing the waters with free resources. So whether this was reading a book, listening to a podcast, just start to plant some seeds. You might only get one chapter in and be like, no, I can't do this. And it's quite common as well at the beginning of the journey that things are going to trigger us. When they hit a chord, we're like, oh, no. I really, really, really wholeheartedly ask you to give it a bigger chance, give yourself a deeper chance to push through that resistance, because through that resistance is some really powerful change. YouTube is an amazing resource with some awesome channels. I think for probably the first 6 months before I was really willing to try our energy healing, that's how I sort of started, was watching YouTube videos, listening to different perspectives, listening to different tools. And it was when my whole body lit up, when I was listening to different stories, or different tools, different techniques. It was when my body lit up, I knew there was something there for me. Whether that something was huge or small, there was something there that was worth diving into. And look, I'm not here to push anything, but energy healing saved my life, changed my life, and I see that it does it for hundreds, thousands of people every day. And that's my biggest thing, that when you're ready, sometimes it's not even when you're ready, but when you're at that low point, really lift yourself to walk through a door or to reach out to a person who has a healing, 2 sex Phoenix, that has a healing service.
Really.
Okay, Phoenix, what's up?
Can we play hide and seek, but you just need to guess it?
Okay, no, I can't right now. I'm not that good at multitasking.
Do it.
Okay, we don't have much longer left, okay? Then I can.
Yeah.
Phoenix brought up hide and seek, which was really actually quite appropriate for literally what I was just saying. Rather than hiding, seek, explore, dive. Get yourself out of your comfort zone and go out there and actually try some of these things for yourself. I can guarantee at the very least you're going to have an extremely relaxing experience, but I'm telling you now, you're going to have a transformative experience, because that's just, it's guaranteed every time. One way or another, whether you're aware of it or not, there is so much changing and transforming inside of you as you embark on this beautiful journey of healing.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And I appreciate Phoenix's patience with us, because I know that he's like itching to get back with his mama and have some fun and games. So before I ask your last most yummy question, which I love hearing the answer to, how can people get in touch with you and, you know, what with your services that you offer?
Awesome.
Mom, I found you.
Oh, you did find me. You're a clever boy. So viewers can find me also at Spirit Mumma Healing on Facebook.
Mom, now you need to.
I will in a moment. And you can also add me. I'm more than happy to have beautiful souls add my personal account, which is Lily Hayes. You can also find me on Instagram at spirit.mumma.adl. And I will be launching my YouTube channel finally very soon, which is Self Mastery Supershow. And it is a beautiful space where like-minded souls come together and have soulful conversations, much like we've had tonight, where we talk about all the different tools, techniques, also stories and journeys that we have been on. So these conversations will be with amazing, passionate people, professionals, practitioners, all different kinds. And really, really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. So I love having these chats. Like this is...
Count to 10.
I will. I'm going to count in my head while I finish our chat.
And no, do it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is your multitasking, multidimensional spirit mama over here.
Oh, absolutely love it. Yeah. It's like we're having an interview with 3 people. It's awesome.
You're under the table. Bless him.
He's done incredibly well, I have to say. He has done so well.
Yeah.
Sure. So I'm so happy that you're here and being with us. So just before we wind up the show, if you could sit next to any person on a park bench for an afternoon. Hey, Phoenix, I've got a question for you. What? If you could sit next to anybody on a park bench for the afternoon, who would it be and why?
Anyone.
Anyone.
No.
Anyone.
Same.
You gotta say who.
Who would you love to meet that you've never met before?
Okay.
You have a think about that one, and Mum's gonna answer, and you can come back when you've got an answer, okay?
Okay, so you go think about it and then come back when you've got an answer. Okay, so I've been pondering this since you sent me the show questions, and it's tricky. It's a tricky one because being able to communicate with passed over loved ones gives me the chance to sort of sit on a park bench anytime. but to have a physical hug from one of them would be really, really super amazing. So I would have to say my nan. So dear Nana Joy would be who I'd love to sit on a park bench with.
Yeah.
And there's also one other person that was, okay, hang on. There's also one other person too who I would love to sit on a park bench with, who is Earthside, and she's an absolute powerhouse. I've been so moved by her transformative speaking skills, and it's someone I've really looked up to, and it's Lisa Nichols. Lisa Nichols is an incredible transformational speaker. The way she conveys her journey, her story, and how empowering it is, just amazing.
That's incredible. Thank you so much for bringing that through. Phoenix, what's your answer?
Yeah, what's your answer, babe?
Okay, my answer is
Want to be Spider-Man?
no.
Not Spider-Man?
I quit Spider-Man.
Oh, you quit Spider-Man. Okay, so who would it be?
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
He would be so cool. He would be so cool to sit next to.
You can't see me. You can't see me.
No, you're hiding now. Oh,
Yeah,
bless him.
that's so true.
You're so small.
Oh, gosh.
Wonder what question he would ask him if he'd just sit there and go, oh, you're an Ant-Man.
Yeah, I think it'd be the stun mullet like.
What can you say?
Oh, that'd be hilarious. All righty. Well, thank you so much for coming on to play with us today. And it's been such an incredible journey. I'm so glad we finally got here. And it was well worth the wait. Well worth it. And yeah. Apparently Amanda wants to hide underneath the park bench.
Oh, I love that.
Oh dear. And thank you, Phoenix, for coming in. I appreciate you too.
No standing. Too dangerous. Too much lighting everywhere. Oh gosh, okay.
I
Okay.
got the something.
All right, down you get now.
No.
Okay.
I love it. No, I love it.
Oh, okay, I'm just going to mute it for a second.
Alrighty, so with that, thank you everybody for coming to join us. Thank you for having a listen and engaging with us. We're so grateful for all of you in the chat, as well as obviously Lily sitting there.
Thank you.
I'll of course be back on Friday with Find You Fridays. Yes, I've got Carly on next week.
Beautiful.
Don't even have to look at my diary. So Carly Evans from Rising of the Phoenix, she's going to be with us next week, and I've been really looking forward to that chat too. And I look forward to seeing you, doing readings, connecting with you back over here on Tasty Tuesdays or whatever it is. I'm so grateful for absolutely every one of you. If you wish to book in sessions with myself or with Lily, you can absolutely do that. All our links are in the show notes. And of course, if you're on YouTube, feel free to click that subscribe button and feel free to give us a little bit of a like. That's always handy. And I look forward to seeing you all next time. Until then, do something absolutely tasty with yourself, for yourself, over the next week.
Absolutely.
All
Thanks so much again.
Oh dear. Until next time, bye-bye everybody. Be bold, be brave, and be you. Bye.